Yeah. Stop it. Oh my god.
No matter how long I've been a nurse, I will still always get pre-shift anxiety.
But I'm a big fan of this.
I rebuke that old person of myself. Reading 2 books at the same time that are giving me 5-star feelings was not on my bingo card.
This was so beautiful. It is currently Tuesday, 3:30 p.m. And here's the thing, I was gonna start this vlog yesterday, Monday, so that we would have the entire week together. But I edited my YouTube video that should be out before this, my readathon, for like 8 hours yesterday. So I actually just right now finished it up and it's exporting. I just had like some minor adjustments to make this morning, but I wasn't able to like completely finish the video before I had to leave for a class this morning. So a little bit behind the scenes today, I guess, but that's just the reality. Is like usually if I'm not filming, I'm either reading. If I'm not reading, I'm editing. If I'm not editing, filming, or reading, I'm working. So anywho, if you hear my laptop in the background sounding like it's about to explode, it probably is. If you know of any like tips and tricks on, I've had my MacBook Air since college, so maybe 6 years ago I got it, and it has enough storage. It's just so laggy and it sounds like it's going to blow up every single time I use it. So anyone out there into tech or knows a little bit about that, do I just need a new laptop? Like, just tell me straight up. So as you have seen, and as the title suggests, this is going to be a realistic week of work and reading. I feel like I try to do this type of video at least once a month, just because, one, my work schedule usually aligns to where I have no other time to film anything else but this type of a vlog, or I end up choosing to film something like this because it is a very prominent part of my life, and I feel like it's really relatable because most people don't just get to sit on their couch and read as many books and do whatever they want all day long. But let me move to the other room because I feel like you can really hear my laptop in the background about to explode, so I'll save your ears. As I mentioned, I just got back from a class. Today was ACLS. If you know anything about healthcare or anything like that, we have to do BLS. And then for me working in the ER, I have to do ACLS and PALS. It's just like CPR type of courses. And I did that for like 6 hours today. Not my favorite thing, having to sit down and do classes. I just get super tired and irritable while I'm there. But I'm trying to make the most of my day, the rest of my day, because another thing about me is that if I have any sort of obligation to do, it could be something so simple like a doctor's appointment that's going to take 30 minutes. I'm planning my entire day around that, okay? I feel like nothing can be done until that gets done. So this morning I had like an hour and a half before I left, and it was just me preparing to leave. And then I got home and I was like, wait, I have like no time in the rest of the day, even though I got home and it's 2:30 p.m. Does anyone else think like that? That's just how my brain works. So I'm trying to be productive for the rest of the day, and I have to remind myself it's only 3:30. Okay, if you watched the readathon, you would have seen that I started a book towards the very end of the readathon and I did not finish it. So it is my current read, which is Long Bright River by Liz Moore. I need to shout out my coworker who recommended me this book because I'm now up to exactly page 100, or is it like 101? And I have such good feelings about this book. Like, I really am anticipating this to be 5 stars. It is a little bit lengthy for, I don't even know if I don't know if you describe this as a thriller or if it's more of like a crime mystery type of a book, but I am thoroughly enjoying this. I do feel like it would hit a little bit more in the winter. It's giving me wintertime vibes. But in this book, we're following the main character, Mickey, who is a police officer in Philadelphia, and she is going to be investigating these string of murders that have recently happened along the same time as her sister has gone missing. Her sister has been living on the streets for a long time. She is both a drug addict and a sex worker, and for a lot of people in that space, when they go missing, things aren't really investigated, but it seems like her disappearance could be linked to these string of murders. What I really like about this is we're getting the present timeline, but then we're also getting the past timeline on Mickey and Casey's growing up, how they grew up, parental issues that they had, deaths in the family, how they grew up really shaped who they are today, and all the problems that go on in an inner city like Philadelphia with crime, with drugs, with prostitution, with law enforcement, how terribly corrupt these things can be at times, and how Mickey as a police officer is still able to recognize that. I just really enjoy the discussions that are being had in this book. I think they're really important, and this author also wrote The God of the Woods, which is a very popular book release, and I like that book. It wasn't my favorite. I liked the thrilling aspect of it, but it was a bit too slow burn for me. Whereas this, I'm just like very much invested into the characters, and I feel like that's the difference. That's my current read and what we are starting out the week with, because I technically started reading this on Sunday. But since it is almost 4 o'clock now, because I've been talking for like 15 minutes, I am gonna go on a WALK. Tarzan's behind me. Can you see him? So I cannot say the word yet because he can't go yet. He has to go later on in the day when it's a little bit less hot out. But that means I get to pick a new audiobook. If you know anything about what I've been reading recently, you would know that I was reading The Calamity Club for like well over a month on audio. It took me a really long time to get through just because I don't listen to audiobooks that often. Like, I'll listen to an audiobook on my walk and on my way to work. And recently, with like Role Model coming out with his new album and me just like still obsessing over Noah Khan, I've been listening to a lot of music in the car, and then on my walks I've just been catching up on podcasts. So I need to get into a new audiobook after finishing The Calamity Club, which, by the way, I won't go too in depth right now because I'll have like a full reading wrap up at some point. So good. Genuinely, I think that there is something in that book for everybody. What's really hard for me is that at least right now, I'm giving it like a 4.25 stars. I think that's genuinely such a me problem, because if I were able to read it in a timely manner, I do think I would have been able to give it 5 stars. It just took me so long to get through that by the end of it, I just felt like I was taken out of it a little bit more, if that makes sense. Honestly, I wouldn't even trust my review, okay? But I don't know what I'm gonna listen to because I'm reading like a crime thriller, and that's normally the audiobooks that I go for. So another book that's actually intrigued me a lot recently is The Wedding People, which I actually, fun fact, started this like over a year ago on my Kindle. I got a few chapters in and I just felt like it was going really slow, and I also read it right after Remarkably Bright Creatures, which I feel like are kind of in the similar ballpark genre writing style, where it's really slow and very character driven. So I think I just needed to switch up. I don't think it was really the book's problem. But recently, I know it came out in paperback and there's been like a resurgence of people reading this book. And it is on Spotify Premium. So I might honestly give The Wedding People a try. That was my little life and reading update on this fine Tuesday. My work schedule for this week is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm working the weekend, so we have the rest of today and tomorrow off, and then I'm back at work. But as always, this is going to be a very raw, realistic what I read in a week while working a full-time job and juggling all the other things that life throws at you. But I'm so excited to get outside, get some fresh air, start a new book. I literally felt like I was trudging through mud. Like, you know how when you are dreaming and you're trying to run from something and you feel like you can't move? That's how I felt the entirety of my walk, and I realized that it's probably my sneakers. It's probably my sneakers. I've had the same sneakers for like a few years now. I got new Brooks. I got 2 pairs of Brooks, but I wear them to work. And the other pair of Brooks I wear on the treadmill. I should probably wear that one outside. But I know I need new sneakers. I don't know if I should get the same brand, if I should get Brooks again, or if I should go back to Hoka's. Let me know what your favorite shoe brand is for sneakers, because I want good walking sneakers, but I also like them to be like stylish. I like to wear them, not stylish, but like look okay if I wear them with jeans. But I'm just waiting for my potatoes. Oh, they are boiling. I'll let them boil for like a minute. I'm making salt potatoes and we're doing some burgers tonight. I am watching Rachel while I prep for dinner. My husband is grilling. All's well in the world. But I feel like as a nurse, I should be like the queen of sneakers. I've tried so many. I've tried Hoka's. I've tried so many. I've tried Hoka's and Brooks. No, but mostly at work, I either will wear my Brooks, or I do like Crocs because they're flat. They honestly are pretty good. You would think that your feet would hurt in Crocs, but actually it's pretty nice because then your feet can aerate. So I do like my Crocs for work, but I need a good walking shoe because I usually walk 3 or 4 miles a day outside or on the treadmill. So give me all your recs, and if that is Brooks or Hoka's and that's what it is and that's the best, I'll take it. You know what I mean? I'll take it. But I'm gonna continue making dinner. Burgers and salt potatoes. And I got a cherry float. Rachel's new reading vlog is on in the background. If you haven't had this flavor, this is one of my favorites, the Coke Zero cherry float. And I also like the Dr. Pepper blackberry. very, very rainy Wednesday morning, so I thought I would enjoy the morning by having a hot cup of coffee and sitting down and reading my book. Guess how many pages I read yesterday? Oh, wait. Yeah, a whopping 0. Actually, no. You know what? That's not true because I did listen to my audiobook. So, audiobook actually was listened to for like an hour and 20 minutes-ish. But I did not do any physical reading yesterday. Lately, ever since the readathon, which has been very good for me, I've been reading before bed, which I do sometimes, but a lot of the time I end up just turning on the TV and just watching TV or scrolling on my phone before bed. But the readathon really like pushed me to like be off my phone and stuff. So I have been kind of keeping that as a habit recently until last night. Last night I was on my phone way too much, but I did also watch the drama with Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. It finally came on streaming services. I have HBO Max. And you know what? I didn't have high expectations going into it because I knew it was kind of an odd movie. I really liked the beginning, and then it just really lost me. I just don't think it's my type of a film, and that's okay. Obviously, the acting is always great. I love both Zendaya and Robert Pattinson, but yeah, I didn't really like it. And then I'm rewatching the Spider-Man movies, and I am way too impatient to like watch them in order how they're supposed to be watched. So I started Avengers Endgame because I know that's really important to watch before the next Spider-Man movie, because I've only ever seen the Spider-Man movies, which I have like no context then because I know how it's supposed to be watched, and I just never did that. So I'm trying to be good and like actually watch them in order so I understand what's going on. Yeah, reading plans definitely did not happen last night, which is okay. This is, like I said, a very realistic what I read in a week, and I'm just trying not to overdo it. I'm not pushing myself too far, especially after coming off of the readathon and reading over 4 books in 2.5 days. I'm just trying to be kind to myself, really slow down, take my time, enjoy what I'm reading, and not feel like I have to hurry up and get through a book. I have also heard that this book is a TV show. I think it's on Peacock, and it's the same title, Long Bright River, with Amanda Seyfried. And I'm so excited to be able to watch that after this. There's only 1 season. I think it'll be just a limited series, but I did not even know this is an adaptation. I feel like everything now is becoming an adaptation, which is a whole different conversation, which maybe we can talk about later, but I am really excited to see this book on screen, and it is a little bit fun because I started this book not knowing it was an adaptation. I just realized that I never even updated my thoughts on The Wedding People because I started it yesterday and I got to 20%, and then today I've been listening to a lot of it, like when I was on my walk earlier. I've been doing some things around the house, and I'm now at 41% complete. And so I only have, it says 7 hours left, but I'm listening to it on 2 times speed, so like 4-ish hours. I can't believe I forgot to talk about it this morning because I'm so glad that I chose to start listening to it. Because like I was saying, when I first started reading it last year, the writing just like, I don't know, it didn't really put me in it, I guess. I don't know, maybe it just wasn't the right time. But listening to it has me like really, really sucked in. Even just right from the first few chapters yesterday, I don't know why I didn't get into it the first time, because I have found myself wanting to do things around the house and like wanting to walk a little bit further just to listen to it, which is very rare for me because as you all know, I'm really not the biggest audiobook fan. Like it really takes a lot for me to love an audiobook. And honestly, it's not even that the narrator is so outstanding. Like the narrator is good, but like I'm actually really just enjoying the plot and like how it's written. Maybe it's just the way that it's written is better to listen to than it is to read. Because I will say the chapters are pretty long. A lot of the chapters are like 45 minutes. So maybe it just felt really long when I read it. I don't know. I don't remember how far I got into it last year. But it's basically about this girl named Phoebe who goes to this hotel in Newport to off herself. And that's because of a multitude of reasons. She kind of feels like her life is completely falling apart. She is a professor but also a writer, and she feels like her career isn't really where she wants it to be. Her marriage isn't really where she wants it to be. I think she's getting a divorce. They've tried to have kids via IVF a few times, and that has not succeeded. And also her cat just recently passed away. So she is just really going through it. That is literally what's talked about in the very first chapter, is that she is at this hotel to herself, and the entire hotel should have been booked out for this other girl named Lila's wedding. there's really not a rhyme or reason why Phoebe was even able to get a reservation or book a room there, because the hotel should have just been completely reserved for this wedding. And that is a very sad and depressing opening chapter, but what I will say is that the way that it's written is not inherently depressing. It's more of like has some dark humor in there, and obviously her going there to do that to herself is going to be sad to read about, but I enjoy being in the main character's perspective and kind of hearing her thoughts on this, because also we meet Lila, or Lila meets Phoebe, and Lila is the bride, and she is a character in and of itself, and basically she kind of throws off Phoebe's plan for when she gets there, and kind of puts it off for the weekend. Phoebe ends up not really befriending these ladies, but kind of gets involved in the wedding activities because it's like a whole wedding week. And I think this is the perfect time to read it because it takes place in Newport. I'm like envisioning Castle Hill Inn is where they're staying. And I think it's a good end of summer read where, it's talking about very depressing topics and important topics, like mental health is very important. The actual setting is very summery, so I feel like it has this good balance of being a perfect end of summer August read. I was definitely not expecting to make the progress that I'm making in it currently, but you know what, I'll take it. I really haven't read, other than the Calamity Club, which like I said was amazing. It just took me forever to get through. Like, it feels really refreshing to pick up an audiobook, really enjoy it, and also feel like I'm actually making strides towards finishing it. Like, I looked at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm 40% of the way through. I feel like I felt this way about the Calamity Club, and I looked and I was like 10% of the way through. So I feel like so many people have read this book, so it's like old news, but you know what, it's new news to me, and I'm really loving it. So if you haven't read it, I guess I don't want to say you should read it because I haven't finished it, but I have really good feelings about it. Like, both the books I'm reading right now, I'm having really good feelings on. And I know I've been talking about the readathon a lot, but I was so nervous because that was my first ever like truly dedicated readathon. I was so nervous to go into a book slump at the end of that, but I definitely have not, and I do feel like it is due to me picking certain books after reading so many thrillers. Like, you definitely have to switch up the genre, you definitely have to mood read. So yeah, I'm having a really good time. I'm actually gearing up to have my best reading month of the year so far, which is crazy because I think 2 months ago I read 11 books, which was definitely the most that I've ever read in a month. Usually my like average reading per month is like 7 books, I would say 7 to 8, but it's currently August 19th and I'm sitting at 9 books read so far this month, and I will definitely be finishing these two, so that will at least be 11 books, and then we might be able to still read some more. So that is very exciting, but I am just getting ready for the day. I already did my exercise, I showered, and sorry, I'm looking this way because my mirror's over here. My plans pretty much just include reading. I think we might go to my favorite ice cream place a little bit later, maybe a little dessert before dinner situation. I'm just having the most chill, laid back, but still productive day before work because I like to get as much stuff done the day before work that I can, just because I know for the next 3 nights, like, I won't be able to do pretty much anything other than sleep and work and try to read as much as I can in between.
It is now my favorite part of the night where I just get to lay in bed and chill before I fall asleep. It is like 10 o'clock right now and I have the windows open and I'm just hearing the crickets outside. I don't know if you can hear. Hold on. That is like the sound of summer right there. It is so soothing. I am now a little over 200 pages into Long Bright River, and seriously, every single chapter, I just fall more and more in love with it. I love the writing. What's really interesting, actually, and I didn't even notice it until, I don't know, maybe like 50 pages in, there are actually no quotation marks in this book. And I think the only other author that I've ever read that writes like that is Sally Rooney, and I've read Intermezzo and Normal People by Sally Rooney, and both of them, like, I don't know if it's not just because of the quotations that I didn't like it. I just didn't really end up liking both of those books, but I don't mind it at all in here. And like I said, I didn't even really notice. The way that Liz Moore is writing this book makes me feel like I'm physically there with the characters. Like, I viscerally feel what they are feeling and all the emotions that they're experiencing, because as someone who is a police officer, the main character Mickey being a police officer and going through what she has gone through and is currently going through in her personal life, that has to be so hard because you are the law, right? And you are supposed to uphold the law. You are supposed to uphold the law, but it's really hard when you have someone very close to you that is involved with what they're involved with. And it just feels like the entire time you're on both sides of it. You can see both sides of it. So it has to be very hard for this main character to go through what she's going through. And like I said, the way that Liz Moore is writing it, I feel what Mickey is feeling. I also really like how we're getting the backstory of Mickey and Casey when they were younger, the way that the past chapters are written. It's like it's giving you little things at a time that kind of catch up with present day what's going on, but not completely. So you're always like a little bit out of the loop, but you're almost caught up, if that makes sense. So I'm really excited to literally just read until I fall asleep. A game changer for me and what I would recommend to anybody are one of these freaking lamps, okay? This is like one of the waterproof shower lamps, but when I tell you I carry this thing all around the house, I think I need like 3 of them because this is designated for my library. This is designated to go on my shelf, but it goes in my bathroom. I bring it in and I sit it on my nightstand at nighttime. What's really nice about it is it dims. Look at that. And then you can go really bright. And then I can just fall asleep and just, you know what I mean? Oh, it's so nice. So highly, highly recommend one of these things. They're literally like $20 on Amazon, if that interests you at all. That's my plans for the rest of the night. I'm going to try to stay up a little bit late tonight. Not too late, because I still want to wake up early, but I have work tomorrow night. I don't want to go to bed super early tonight because I kind of want to make my brain get prepared for night shift again, because I do flip my schedule like completely on my days off. I really like to be a morning person and just live a normal life. I like to flip my schedules very quickly. Will this catch up to me at some point? Probably. But I'm going to try to stay up till like midnight probably. Wake up at 7 or 8. And yeah, I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get a good amount read tonight because I have like an hour and a half-ish to sit here and read. And then tomorrow we'll just be prepping for night shift. Yay. I just filmed a whole 10-minute clip and I just realized I wasn't even recording, so let's roll it back. Let's do it again. What I was trying to tell you is that I am probably the most indecisive person that you will ever know, and it's really apparent right now because I cannot decide which book I want to read because I'm loving both of them so much. I was reading Long Bright River while I was having my coffee this morning, and then I've been listening to The Wedding People. I just got back from like a 2-mile walk, and I'm now 52% of the way into The Wedding People. So right now my heart wants to go with The Wedding People just because I was literally just listening to it, but I have like an hour to just relax before I have to go in and take my nap before work. So I feel like I should just get into my physical read. Like, part of me literally wants to sit here and listen to my audiobook while I just like stare into the abyss for an hour. But I need to be a little bit strategic because I only have 6 hours left in the audiobook, so like 3 hours because I'm listening to it on 2 times speed, and I have time to listen to it in between shifts when I'm driving to and from work and when I'm like doing things around the house. So I feel like the smartest option is to get back into Long Bright River, which is, you know what, you don't have to convince me. You don't have to convince me because, like I said, I'm loving this book so much. Now, what I will say is that there are definitely audiobooks that I have thoroughly enjoyed before, that I really like the narrator and I really enjoy the story, and that there are definitely audiobooks that I feel like are better on audio than they would be physically reading it. But this is entirely new, where I seriously feel like my brain is completely turned off when I'm listening to it. Most of the time, I will have to end up rewinding what I listen to because my brain just gets off track, or I'm thinking of a million different things, whereas I feel like listening to The Wedding People, that is all that I'm thinking about when I'm listening to it, which is really, really good, especially because this is my first night shift back after 6 days off, and it's always the hardest going back for your first day. No matter how long I've been a nurse, I will still always get pre-shift anxiety, so I just feel like these books are really just taking my mind off of those things, and I'm able to just relax. It's really nice. But reading 2 books at the same time that are giving me 5-star feelings was not on my bingo card, and it is so hard to pick between the two, which one I want to read at what time, but you know what? It's a good problem to have.
work. I'm here like 10 minutes early, so I'm just chilling in my car, mentally preparing to go in. Honestly, last night was not a bad night at all. It could have gone, it can always be worse, I will say that, but it really was not a bad night. Kind of not the best thing is that I'm charged tonight and tomorrow. I don't always love being charged. It's just not my favorite, but we're gonna go in with a positive attitude. I'm gonna have a great night. Fridays are always pretty busy in an ER. I feel like the beginning of the week and the end of the week are always the busiest. As far as reading updates, as you saw, I did finish Long Bright River, and oh my god, there was never a doubt in my mind that this was not going to be a 5-star. Like, it is definitely a 5-star. I loved everything about this. It was definitely like a crime thriller, and it had just the right amount of things that were unexpected that happened, things that I did see coming, character development. The plot was really great. I really liked a lot of the side characters as well. It just had everything going for it. I think it was also like the perfect size. Like, it seems a little bit long. It's like 480 pages, but the pacing was really good. I never felt like, oh, this could be cut down by 50 or 100 pages, which sometimes I feel that way in thrillers specifically. But I'm a big fan of this. I am such a big fan. I'm so excited to be able to watch the TV show now. I actually got some decent sleep today. It's really hit or miss if I'm able to sleep well or not on night shift. I did wake up a few times because I was having, I don't know if it's the book that I'm reading or what, but I was having crazy dreams. Like, dreams that I was involved in basically what the character in this book was involved in. So it is awesome and amazing. I'm also looking at the outside of this ER right now and I see multiple ambulances. So you know what? It's going to be a good night. Even if it's a busy night, it'll be a good night because it won't drag on. I feel like last night was a really good night in the way that it got a little bit slow and I was kind of like, oh my god, it's 1 a.m. So there's definitely pros and cons to it being busy or not busy. So I'm just going to take whatever comes at me tonight. We have a really good group of people, coworkers. They can make or break you. You know, teamwork is really everything, especially in the ER. If you know, you know. So yeah, we're gonna make it a good night. Night 2 of 3. Let's get it. Can you believe that I was driving home this morning and I ran out of Spotify listening hours 80% of the way through The Wedding People? How rude is that? Like, come on, that would happen. I was so close to finishing it. I think I had like an hour left of the audiobook, but I did come home this morning to a package. Okay, I did get 2 other books, but yeah, I did do it. I had to buy it, 1, because I really think it's going to be a 5-star, and 2, I actually didn't know my Spotify listening hours were run out, but I thought maybe for the end of it, I would want to read it physically, and when I'm on my break at work sometimes, I can't really put my headphones in to listen to an audiobook, so it makes more sense to have a physical book, and if I would want it anyway, it kind of makes sense maybe to read the end of it physically. I got 2 other books though, so I thought I'd show you them. I got Let's Kiss and Tell by Joss Richard. This is on my summer TBR, which is quickly coming to an end. And there's only a few books left on my summer TBR. So I finally picked her up. She came out pretty recently though, so it wasn't like I've been waiting a while to buy it. But I'm really, really excited for this book. I love the cover. And then I got When the Cranes Fly South by Lisa Ridson. I've heard of this book. It came out last year, I want to say. I haven't really seen any of my mutuals read it, but I actually just saw Destiny start reading it. So it reminded me of this book again. I read the synopsis, and I didn't really know what other books. You guys know I keep my physical TBR very small, and I don't really have many books left on my physical TBR currently. So I needed to kind of pick up some books that I know I'm going to be reading really soon before it's like actually fall. So I thought that this was a good like in-betweener book. A tender tale about aging, our own and others, and the quiet brutality of love. An old man, there's a dog. I think it's gonna like break my heart probably. I would probably sob when I read this, but it has really good reviews. And I don't know, the synopsis kind of reminded me of a Frederick Bachman book, so we'll see. That was my little book haul. It perked me up a little bit this morning when I saw it because, I don't know, lately normally I can like deal with night shift. Like, I'm really not a night person. I am a day shift person through and through. But to get this job, because I wanted this job, I had to take nights. And I've been actually pretty okay with it. I don't know what's going on because I haven't changed anything about my schedule, about my eating, about my activity level. Nothing. I don't even feel burnt out. I just feel tired. Like, no matter what I'm doing, I'm so extremely exhausted. And I guess I could try to sleep like later. Like right now it's only 3 o'clock. I could sleep later, but I physically, like, my brain won't let me sleep later. I was also thinking of coming home and instead of going right to sleep, try to stay up for like an hour or 2, because then maybe I can sleep in later. But then it also doesn't give me the time that I need before work to do the things I want to do and the things I think are important for me, like reading, like working out, like just having a little bit of family time. I don't really want to wake up at 6 o'clock and just leave, you know? I don't really know what the answer is. I don't really know what's going on. I'm hoping it's just a little ebb and flow situation, and once it gets into like the colder months, I think it's also hard, yeah, because it's hot out right now, it's sunny out. Maybe my like internal clock is just out of whack in the summer. I don't know. I mean, night shift, no matter what, no matter who you are, it's gonna weigh you down at some point. It's gonna make you exhausted at some point because it's just not natural. But last night again was not a bad night. So we got one more night, but I do have bad news. Bad news is that I only have tomorrow off, and then I'm back on for 3. I can't really complain though because I did do it to myself. But I wanted to see how far into the wedding people I was. I think I'm around the 80% mark before I ran out of listening hours. Okay, made it to chapter 19 out of 24 chapters. So I only have 5 chapters left. So I wanted to see where that was in the actual physical book. Oh, there's no chapter numbers. How do I know? There's literally no chapter numbers. And I can't even click on this to like figure out where I was. Oh no. I'm on page 321 out of probably like 350. 363. 321 out of 363. So I actually might be able to sit down right now and finish it. I don't think I'm going to work out today. I think I'm just going to take the day off because my brain hurts and I just want to relax. I do feel like it does feel a little bit different reading it physically instead of listening to it because the writing style is different. It's not in a bad way or anything, but I was interested to see how it would compute listening to it versus reading it. Because I'm kind of forced to read it physically because I can't listen to it. But it's okay so far. It is a little bit to get into, which is weird because I only have like 40 pages left. Also, just started pouring outside. I don't know if you can see that. Pouring just in time for the end of this. I'm not sure what that means. We'll see. I really love when the weather matches up with the book you're reading because that literally feels very on par with what's going on because we're at the very end of the story. It starts raining. I read a few pages and then it's sunny again because I really hope this ends on a happy note for Phoebe, for everyone involved. I just love this book so much. The whole department is truly worried about you. They should be. They are. Good. They didn't worry about me enough. There's only 20 pages left and I still don't know how it's going to wrap up with the whole Phoebe, Lila, Gary, Jim, Matt situation and relationship of it all. If you know, you know. Like, how is this going to tie up? But it's also true that this wedding will never be a waste, Phoebe says, because I came here to die and now look at me. No, Phoebe will never be a mother, will never know what it's like to create life inside of her. But there are other ways to create, other ways to love, other reasons to live. Stop it. Oh my god. Every day this week you gave me a reason to get up in the morning to put on a beautiful dress and be part of something, and for that I will always be grateful. I love friends. I love friendships. I love girlhood. Oh. Like, she literally saved her. She literally saved her. This was so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Wow. I cannot believe that I put this book down a few years ago, that I read only a few chapters and was like, no, I don't think it's for me. I rebuke that old person of myself because, oh my gosh, this is probably one of my favorite books of the year. I loved everything about it. The friendships, girlhood, obviously the talk about mental health and Phoebe going to this hotel to do one thing and coming out on the complete opposite side, finding herself again, finding purpose again. This book was just so beautiful. I don't really know what else to say. And what's so interesting, like I was saying before, I've never really listened to an audiobook and just felt like it was a soul book for me. I always think the audiobook takes me out a little bit, no matter what, just because of my problems with like paying attention and like staying in the story while I'm trying to listen to something. I just found myself listening to this book at any possible free moment, in the car,
when I'm just doing things around the house, obviously when I'm like walking outside. And I think too, it was really, really nice to just physically read the end of it. I think it probably would have hit a little bit harder if I was able to read it and listen to it at the same time. So maybe when I get listening hours back, I'll listen to the very end of this just because of how much I loved it so much. And I just got used to Phoebe's narrator and everything. But holy cow, this is like a 6-star read. I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. If you have not read this book, I truly think that this book, there's something in it for everybody. Everybody would enjoy because it's got a little bit of everything in it. And I feel like there are important elements that I think anyone would be able to take something away from. Yeah, I'm so glad that I bought a physical copy because I will definitely be rereading this book. I think it'll be nice for the next time I read it to read the entire thing physically, just because I feel like physically reading and listening to it are two different experiences. I think I'm in need of a little bit of a mental health walk after this one. I think I'm just gonna go outside, walk for like 15-20 minutes before I have to get ready for work. This book is just such an example of one of the reasons why I read. I was able to completely take myself out of reality and just be in this book, and I was able to kind of decompress through this book. And definitely my theory has been proven that there can be a right book, wrong time, because I picked this up a year ago and thought that it wasn't for me, and now look at me a year later reading this, loving it, a new favorite book of all time. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.